Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me Miss Penny Dollar, who is the career coach at Walnut High School. Penny, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, funny story that I'll tell on Penny and myself. Years ago, 10 years ago, that profits, I think.
I think so too.
We talked to each other for a long time. You had gotten in on a grant to sort of do something kind of like this in a tiny little way. And we dreamed of it that day. We were like, what if we all did this? Do you remember that?
I do. I had gotten a job with a nonprofit organization out of Jackson, Mississippi called Jobs for Mississippi Graduates. And I did those 2 classes at Faulkner High School and Walnut. And we called ourselves job specialists, but it was the same concept as a career coach.
It just took the rest of the state 10 years to catch up with what we knew was going to be great.
Exactly.
Now, you're the perfect person to be at Walnut. I'm so glad you're up there. Tell about that. Tell about Walnut High School in general and the school's makeup, and then a little bit about this is year 1 for you, right?
This is year 1 for me with Three River, yes.
Okay.
I began my student life at Walnut Attendance Center High School as a kindergarten student. I graduated in 1982. I returned to teach in 1985. This will be my 40th year in North Tippah.
Oh, wow.
And so I know students, parents, grandparents, and beyond.
Is there a statue of you up at Walnut?
Not yet.
There should be.
A student actually asked me about 2 weeks ago, he said, Miss Penny, are you ever going home? And I said, probably not.
This is a great way for you to continue that career, though, because you are so well suited to help those particular kids and families because you know them so well.
I do. I know all the students. I know parents. I know the community real well because my dad was a business owner for 40 years. So I know a lot of people and their families because when I go somewhere, my daughter will always say, Mom, do you know everybody? Because somebody's always stopping me and asking, hey, Miss Penny, how are you?
Okay, tell me about this experience with Three Rivers and how this career coach thing is going.
It was about 3 or 4 days when Austin took the job at Ripley. I contacted Three River and...
Wait a minute. For our listeners, Austin Hamilton, who was at Walnut High School...
Yes.
...moved and went to Ripley High School this year, and you took his place.
That's exactly right. And so very blessed to get this opportunity because I have a compassion, and my compassion has always been to help students. I want them to find their success and have a success story and just help them with anything that I can possibly do. And I love my job, and I want to have a shout out to the administrators and to my teachers at Walnut because they're all so cooperative when I say, may I come to your classroom? And read a book, or may I come and, and do a career lesson? And I kind of have me a set little schedule because I don't have a room big enough, because that's another great thing going on. We're getting a new building at Walnut High School. It's coming up very nicely, so I have to go into the classrooms, and they have all been so great and cooperative with me in letting me meet with these students.
Tell us a little bit about Walnut in general. It's a K-12?
We are K through 12, and the last enrollment was 487. Of course, we're K through 12, and it's just a great place. It will always be home to me. I have figured up, and I have probably spent more time there than I have in my own home.
So you probably have. Now, the kids that you're helping, do you find that they are a mixed bag of headed to college, headed to technical career, headed to military?
I think the majority of the students that I'm seeing now are headed to trades, and I am very excited because when our Horizon conference was held back in the end of August, they were really pushing us to the trades because of the workforce, because in 20 years, it's going to be very scary. And they asked the main speaker there the day, they said, how can we make, a student had said, what would be a job that make the most money? And he said, a plumber. He said, because these jobs are fixing, you're going to get to make what you want.
Yeah, I know. I really feel like if nothing, and there's so much good coming out of this program, but if nothing good else comes out of it, it's to get our trade back up where it should be, because you just didn't have people going into trade because we weren't sending them there.
We were not. And I when I step into the 11th and the 12th grade classes, every time I say, I'm always going to tell you guys, I want you to remember this. We are very fortunate in Tippah County because you're going to get to go free. Kudos to Northeast. They have got great programs. Associates, they've got great CTE programs. I can't say enough. And I said, you are very fortunate to be 40 miles away to have these great opportunities. And I have several that, are interested in HVAC, industrial maintenance. And so I think I'm going to have more students going to trades and in healthcare.
Do you like going to, I've heard from other career coaches that you guys get together, just the adults, just the coaches, and go tour some things.
Yes.
So what sorts of places have opened your eyes?
The main thing that had opened my eyes, I had no idea that Jumpertown had On Demand, which made ambulances for the United States. It's a great place.
What now? Say that
again. It's called On Demand in Jumpertown. They make ambulances. Had no idea.
Okay, I've heard of On Demand. I didn't know what they did.
That's what they do. Very nice place. Very nice facility. The other place that I visited, Echo Water's great. I'm having a guest speaker come Thursday from Ashley. I have had several guest speakers to come in and speak to the students. Also, a place that I was very impressed with was Keytronics in Corinth. It's where the OITT used to be. And they do a lot of computer work, fixing and
I see.
They said to send students that even if they did not have a degree, if they had any kind of knowledge in computer work, that they would love to be interested in it, and they were ready to go to work.
You guys are really gonna just putting a hole in poverty up here, I think, by connecting students to what good paying jobs.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned the word connect, because with Three River we call EPIC, and it's called We Explore, we investigate, we plan, and we connect. And so that's what our goal is to do with these students. I meet one-on-one, I meet with group, we have gotten them all, our seniors, registered for Mississippi Works. That means that they will be tracked for a certain number of years in the state of Mississippi to see if they're employed here or in kind of what field they are, if we're getting to keep our students in Mississippi to work.
So you've got the personal touch of having just your small school. Then you've got a little bit bigger ring of being with the Tippah County coaches. And then you've got the power of the whole big Mississippi thing to do things like Mississippi Works. That's really nice.
It's very nice. And the career coaches in Tippah County have just taken me under their wing. They have mentored me, and they have just been great with me with this first year. Especially Karen Walden has been my mentor from Faulkner.
So what's coming up for you in the late fall?
The late fall, we are going to take we have a lot of students that are on the block, and so some of these seniors that we have that I'm seeing now will not come back to campus. So therefore, they were not going to get to go to Northeast because they have changed it to where they're taking juniors. So the counselor and I got together and we contacted Beth Benson, who is great at Northeast.
Another Tippah County graduate.
Another Tippah County graduate recruiter there. She's great. And so she has set us up a time in November that we're going to get to take those seniors to get to see and tour Northeast for the spring, because they may not get to go to the spring one.
Well, Penny, I'm glad that our little dream we had 10 years ago has come true, and I'm glad you're getting to do it. It's so great.
I am too. Very thankful, very blessed. And when I was on my way up here today, I remembered our talk at Office Products about this.
Yeah, so it was just meant to be. You're going to do it, and I'm going to put us on the air.
It's great. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, y'all, this has been Penny Dollar, who is the career coach at Walnut High School. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's happening with our local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells-Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel-Laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at MississippiHills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.